Hello everybody and welcome back to Gaming on Caffeine. My name is Isaac and we are back playing some FTB Infinity for episode 3. Now, you may be wondering, Isaac, why are we back down in the mines? I thought we were done with this. I thought we had a ton of resources that were going to last us like at least a good couple of episodes from now. And for the most part, you were right. However, we were missing one resource that we needed to get started today, and that was ferrous. You'll see we did find some, and I wanted to show off a little feature that I think is part of NEI, and that I think is new, but one that I only found out about like an hour ago. And that is, if you look on the recipe page, so you click R on ferrous, or you just type in ferrous and then click on it in NEI, you get to this page, and if you go and click across a couple of pages, you'll find a page that looks like this. It's called Oregen, and it actually tells you the best Y level that you should mine on to find the specific ore, which I didn't know was a thing, but it was actually really helpful. So what I did is I came back down to our old mine. This is the one we were digging at before, and I came down, I thought this is Y level 12 because we were looking for diamonds. I thought I'll just dig up one more up here, try and find some ferrous, and boom, look at this, instant diamonds. I was like, wow, really? They were that close to me all along and we didn't find them. But one really cool thing is if you look at the top of the screen where Whaler is, that little sort of cluster of text at the top, it says that this is dense diamond ore from the dense ores mod, which means that it's actually going to contain more, well, possibly contain more diamonds than this regular diamond ore around here. So we also got some uranium, which I thought was really cool, some gold, and I think there's even some more rubies around this corner. Look at this. This is like the jackpot of all the ores and stuff. I really like it. So let's go ahead and grab a bunch of these and see just how much we're going to get from all of this diamond. I have no idea how many are here, and I can hear lava, which is a bit scary. I have no idea how close that is, and hopefully we're not going to lose any diamonds to the lava. It doesn't look like we are. Good stuff, good stuff. We got 7 already, and this one contains, oh my gosh, look at that. 3 more diamonds. That takes us up to 10 more diamonds. I think we got like 7 more at home. We have a ton of diamonds. Nice. Okay, so back up on the surface, we can go ahead and chuck our diamonds into this chest. Since the end of last episode, I have gone ahead and thrown most of the ores into the system, gone ahead and cooked them up. I have run into a little bit of a problem with the this little ejector upgrade on the macerator, and that is that it says automatically outputs to the first valid side, which unfortunately sometimes means it's going to output to the hopper above it, which means some of the ores, once they get macerated, go straight back into the hopper, which is not a good thing at all. We might have to change this up for some form of item pipe at some point in the future, but for now I've just had to take this out and throw it in there every now and again. But for the most part, everything is good, and I've gone ahead and moved a bunch of stuff from this chest and this chest over into this chest, and this is pretty much all we're going to need for a little project that we're going to work on a little later on in the episode. But to start with, what we're going to do is we're going to make something called the Terrain Smasher. Now, the Terrain Smasher is this little block over here. It's added by thermal expansion, and if we go ahead and click on it, it's actually fairly easy to make, requiring a pneumatic servo, a piston, 2 tin gears, and an Invar pickaxe. Now, this is why we needed ferrous, because if we look at the recipe for Invar, it requires some Invar blend, which is made using 2 iron dust and 1 ferrous dust. I've gone ahead and used the grindstone to get 2 iron dust. Now, all we have to do is go ahead and throw some ferrous ore into there, and that should go ahead and get us some ferrous dust, which we can then combine up, smelt, and get ourselves 3 Invar, and then we can make ourselves the Terrain Smasher. Now, you may be wondering, Isaac, why are we making a Terrain Smasher? Well, the reason we are making a Terrain Smasher, and I've just realized I find myself asking questions for you guys an awful lot, but the reason I'm making a Terrain Smasher, and ooh, actually we only got 3 from that. I wonder why that is. Quite odd. I thought we would have got 4, but okay, we can go ahead and do this. The reason we are getting a Terrain Smasher is because the Terrain Smasher allows us to break obsidian without the need of any diamonds, which is pretty nice. Probably didn't need to do it because we do have 12 diamonds now alongside 6 more in here, so we have 18 diamonds, which is kind of insane. But for the most part, it means we don't have to use diamonds, and it's just a lot cheaper. And you may be wondering, why do we need diamonds? Why do we need obsidian? Well, we need to go to the nether because something we are going to work on, our little secret project later today, requires a little bit of glowstone. So, I did kill some mutton. I do need to set up like a proper wheat farm somewhere around here because we are running low on food fairly frequently. But if we go ahead and grab the Invar there, we can also go ahead and grab some glass, some redstone, and some iron for the servo, as well as 2 pistons, and then we should be pretty much be good to go. We're also going to need some tin and some iron. We'll get 2 more iron for that. You can make iron gears by taking tin gears by taking iron and surrounding them with tin, like so. And then I think we are pretty much good to go. We just need to make that Invar pickaxe like this. And did I not grab the Invar? I didn't. Okay, we can grab the Invar, and then we can make ourselves an Invar pickaxe like this. And then I think we are pretty much good to go. We just need that server, which looks, I believe, something like this. It does. And then if we take server, piston, Invar pickaxe, and do this, we get ourselves a terrain smasher. Nice. So what I'm going to do is really quickly, I'm going to go ahead and dump a bunch of this stuff that I don't need. I'm actually going to go ahead and put you in there. And actually, because I'm kind of lazy, I'm just going to do this. By the way, for those who don't know, spacebar and left click actually dumps everything out. If I do it again, spacebar, left click, you can just move massive stacks of stuff at a time into or out of your inventory. Nice little hotkey for you to know there. But what we're going to do is we're going to grab ourselves enough iron to make a bucket. And I'm actually going to grab it from here because there is a very specific amount of iron in that chest for our project later on. But if we go ahead and grab this, grab ourselves a bucket, what we can do is we can go ahead and... Is this finished? It is. We'll throw the yellorium in there. What we can do is we can go ahead and grab some water, and I'm going to go down into the mines, find myself some lava, and once we pour this water over the lava, we will get ourselves some obsidian, which we can then mine with the terrain smasher. Now, one more thing we are going to need in order to make this actually work is a chest, because the way that the terrain smasher works is you can put it down in front of a piece of obsidian, it will then break that obsidian and output it to the back into a chest. Now, if there's not a chest there, as far as I'm aware, it actually gets rid of the obsidian, which is not what we want. We want to make sure we grab every single piece of obsidian we can so that we can make this nether portal. So I'm going to really quickly grab one more chest, which is just a little bit more wood, fairly easy stuff. We can go ahead and do it like so. And I'm going to head down to the mines, find myself some lava, and I'll be back in a second. Okay, so I did a little bit of wandering around, and I was going to go down to the mine that we found by the meteor, but there's actually a little bit of above ground lava here, which is much nicer. So let's go ahead and throw down the water. That's going to go ahead and make us a bunch of obsidian, which is really nice. We're then going to go ahead and break some stuff like this, stick down our chest over here, like so, and I believe the terrain smasher has to go down like this. So you're facing the chest, stick it down, it should go then ahead and break the obsidian and dump it into the chest like that, and we get ourselves obsidian without the need for any diamonds whatsoever. Actually really easy stuff. So what I'm going to do, guys, is again, I'm going to cut away, I'm going to do this about 10 more times until we have enough obsidian for a nether portal, and I'll be back in a second. Alright, so a little while later we have ourselves a nether portal, and now all we need to do is grab ourselves a quick flint and steel, and we should be good to go. Now I'm hoping, really hoping, that we spawn somewhere close to some glowstone and we don't have to travel too far in order to get some. We do have a little bit of flint over there and quite a bit of iron actually over there. So we should... Now, come on, do I get this right? I do. Usually I get that the wrong way around, actually. But what we can do is we can go ahead and light this thing up, and we should be good to go. Now, once we got glowstone, what we're going to do is we're going to move on to automating a tree farm, because last episode, actually, I'll talk about this in a second, actually, once we've got ourselves some glowstone. Come on, here we go. Here we go. Achievement got. We need to go deeper. Hopefully, we're not in, like, an absolutely horrible place. Okay. Well, in terms of lava, we got a good spawn because we can go back and get a lot of lava really easily. In terms of glowstone, not so much. So what I'll do, guys, is I'm going to go ahead and mine some netherrack. Probably nerd pull my way up to some of the nearby glowstone. I'll be back in a second. Okay, so again, we're back in the overworld. We did manage to get ourselves a 56 glowstone, which is actually pretty nice. We also had a bit of a rough and tumble with some heat scar spiders, which is why we now have some flame string, which hopefully might come in useful at some point in the future, but I actually don't think I've ever used before for anything ever, so I wouldn't get my hopes up for that too much. But let's go ahead and dump that in there, as well as probably the netherrack, and let's get on to the super secret project that I want to start working on. So I'm going to throw the glowstone in there. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of pretty much everything else. I will organize these again, don't worry, so they're not going to stay completely messy forever. But what we're going to do now is we're going to grab all of the stuff out of here, and we're going to make ourselves a Steve's cart. Now, for those who've never used a Steve's carts before, it's a pretty nifty little mod that allows you to make carts to automate things. And in this case, we're going to use specifically the basic wood cutting module, which is uses the wood cutting core, and I believe is somewhere around here. They're the hardened and advanced ones, and there it is, the basic woodcutter. We're going to need to make this guy and a bunch of other stuff. And we're going to set up a cart system that automatically plants and harvests trees for us, which is pretty cool. And actually, I kind of like to do this. There are easier ways to do it, but I kind of like to mix things up and use Steve's carts every once in a while. So the way we're going to do this is we're going to start by making a standard hull, which is this guy here. Requires some iron and some iron wheels. Iron wheels, really simple to get, just sticks and iron. And then the iron hull is just a bunch more iron. And we should probably actually also get the cart assembler, which is actually used, as you guessed it, to assemble the cart. So we're going to go ahead and grab 2 of those. Now we might need a little bit more redstone and gold, because I don't think I quite accounted for the cart assembler in my allocating of resources. So let's go ahead and... do we have some stone in there? We did not. No, we did not. I thought we did, but we didn't. Let's go ahead and smelt up some stone in there. We're going to need a few more of those. That's fine. We'll smelt that up. Whilst that's doing that, we can go ahead and make this basic woodcutter. This thing requires a woodcutting core, which is an advanced PCB surrounded by 8 saplings. And to make the advanced PCB, we need 2 more of these, 2 more of the simple ones, along with some iron and some redstone, and a bunch of saplings. As you'll see, we have exactly 8 saplings in the chest for us here, so we'll go ahead and do something like that. Get ourselves the woodcutting core, and then this is where it kind of gets pretty expensive, because the saw blades each require a diamond and 2 iron, and we need 5 of these in order to have this work. So that is pretty expensive, pretty pricey, does require quite a lot of diamonds, but in the long run, it does mean that we have infinite wood, and we can go ahead and power this generator over here using that infinite wood, which therefore leads to infinite power, which is pretty freaking nice. And then we can go ahead and make the basic woodcutting core. Nice. So let's go ahead and grab some of that smooth stone. Don't want to turn it all into smooth stone. Really no point in doing that. And we should be able to make ourselves the cart assembler. Cool. Now this guy, we'll go ahead and throw down, I guess, in this corner for now? Sure. And this thing has a pretty nice interface. We're going to put the standard hull up here, which unlocks a bunch of other slots. And this is where we customize our standard minecart and make it pretty freaking awesome, to the point where we can fully plant and harvest and even cook wood into charcoal. Plant and harvest trees is where I was going with that. So we're going to throw in the basic woodcutter. That's going to go there. Now you'll see we also have engines, attachments, storage, and add-ons. Now for engines, there are a couple of different types of engines. The ones we're going to go for today are the coal engine. This one is really simple. And we actually have all the stuff to make it right there. And then we're going to also get a solar engine, because we want our system to be able to work mainly on solar power, so it doesn't require a bunch of coal to run. But then we also want it to keep working throughout the night, so that our generator over there never runs out of power. So I think we almost have everything. This is where we needed the glowstone for. We're going to go ahead and need 4 of those, even though we can make 28. And we're going to go ahead and do something like that once we get another one of these, which again requires 2 more of those. And boom, boom. Take another one of those, and boom. No, we're missing 1 piston. That's fine. We'll go ahead and do that. Take you, and do that. Take you, and nice. So we can go ahead and throw that in there. And you'll notice that as we do this, if you look up here, it says the complexity cap is 50. So there's only so much stuff we can put on a standard hull. If we upgraded it to the next tier hull, which is actually a lot more expensive, the reinforced hull, requiring some reinforced metal, which is made using stabilized mesh, and a bunch of other stuff, it's actually pretty expensive when you look at it. There's a certain complexity. There's only so much stuff you can put on a standard hull. And actually, the more you put on it, the total time it takes to craft the hull actually goes up as well. And we'll talk more about that in just a second. So let's throw on the solar generator. You'll see the time went up, and we'll throw on the coal engine. Again, you'll see the time went up, and so did the complexity. But that's not all. That's all we're putting on there. We need some storage. We need somewhere for it to put the wood, the apples, and all the saplings that it gets from breaking all the trees. And in order to do that, we are going to take some side chests. These things are a little, like, fussy to make, I'd say, but they're not actually all that hard once you've got them. So I'll take 2 of you in order to make those 2. We then need 4 of these. 1, 2, which I believe means we're going to need a few more of those, which I thought we could make, but apparently we don't have enough wood for, and I think that is due to the fact that we spent a little bit of our wood making some extra pistons. So let's go ahead and do something again like that. Take you, make 2 more of those. 1, 2, and then go ahead and make 1 of those, which is why we had that smooth stone to begin with. Take that and do something like this, and we get ourselves the side chests. Nice. Again, we can go ahead and throw that in here. And now the final piece of the puzzle that we're going to add to this little cart here to make it kind of the best cart and the fully automate the tree farm itself is this guy down here, the advanced smelter module. This thing is made again using a diamond, so again pretty expensive. We're going to need another 4 of those, which does mean we need a little bit more iron, gold, and redstone. That's fine. We've got loads of the stuff. So we'll go ahead again, and I can hear mobs just outside my door, which I don't like. We'll take 4 of those. We can go ahead and make ourselves another advanced PCB, like so, and then we should be able, after we get this guy, which is another one of these in a furnace, to do something like this. You can go there, you can go on top, we'll take you, we'll throw you there, we'll put you to either side, and we'll stick you on top, and we get ourselves the advanced furnace module. Cool. So we can go ahead and throw that in there. That takes the time up to 30 minutes, which is actually how long it's going to take for this thing to create, which is actually a really long time. But the way this works is we're going to go ahead and grab some coal. This thing does run off coal. It doesn't run off EU or any other type of power. And we're actually running pretty low on coal. I might have to go mining again while this thing's running. But we're going to go ahead and throw that into here. That's going to go ahead and fill up the fuel level. And we are going to click assemble. I'm just checking I've got everything right there. I think I do. I'm pretty sure I do. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and we're going to click assemble car. That's going to close it up, and now we just have to wait 30 minutes. That's going to take 30 minutes for that thing to assemble, which is a pretty long time, but there are other things we can be doing whilst that is doing that. Most notably is making tracks, because as you may have guessed, in order to get ourselves a fully working cart tree farm, we're going to need some tracks. Now, the one main track we're going to need is the advanced detector rail, and that would be a zombie. Where the heck did you come from? Did I leave the door open? No, I didn't. Where did you come from? Did you just spawn there? There's not many places you could have spawned. I have no idea where you came in from. Anyway, we'll sleep so we don't get attacked by any other mobs. But yeah, the basic thing we're going to need is some tracks. And because of the inclusion of Railcraft, tracks are actually a little difficult to make. So the main one we need is this guy up here, the Advanced Detector Rail, which is actually one of the easiest cards to make, believe it or not. And I think in order to do that, we are going to need at least one more stone here. So we'll throw that in there and wait for that to smelt up. That's just to make the pressure plates. And actually, we need 3. So we'll go ahead and do that. But if we go ahead and look at the recipe for a normal track, like this, it's actually been changed because, again, of the inclusion of Railcraft. And in order to make this, we're going to need 6 standard rail, which are made using 6 iron in a rolling machine, as well as these wooden rail beds, which are made using 4 wooden ties, which are made using wooden slabs, and some creosote, I believe it is, creosote oil, which can be either stored in cells, capsules, buckets, bottles, or whatever these are, capsules as well. We're going to use buckets because we have buckets. Let's go ahead and take you, we'll throw some more wood in there, and we should be on our way. So we'll go ahead and do something like that, and we'll get ourselves a rolling machine. Now, the problem with the rolling machine, although it is fairly easy to make once we have all of the wood, cobblestone, and stuff to make all the pistons, which we actually do have in here. Let's go ahead and try that again real quick. There we go. I'm going to turn all that into wood. I don't think we need logs for anything, really. Let's go ahead and take 4 of you, make ourselves a crafting table real quick, like so, and then make ourselves a rolling machine. This thing runs on redstone flux, which is a different energy source to the EU that we're making over there. So in order to get RF, we're actually going to have to make ourselves a generator that produces RF. Now, the easiest one that I think we're going to be able to make for now is the furnace generator. Now, the furnace generator is added by extra utilities, and this thing is basically a butt ton of iron. And this thing allows us to put anything that you would put in a furnace into this guy, and this thing will produce redstone flux. So we'll go ahead and take you, do something like that, and stick this thing down next to our rolling machine. I'll probably move this at some point, but basically, if we go ahead and throw some wood in there, that's going to start to produce some redstone flux. Instantly transfer it to the rolling machine because it's next to it. We don't need any cables like we had over there. And now what we can do is we can grab some of our iron, throw it into here like that, and that's going to go ahead and start to produce some of these rail beds. I'll click to craft. There we go. Okay, it's clicking to craft them. That should be fine. We should now have enough stuff to make ourselves that detector rail. And actually, let's go ahead and take that real quick. And I'm not sure if we need another one. We might, but we'll come back to that in just a second. Let's take you, make you into the pressure plates, and then go ahead and make ourselves the detector rail. And you'll see why we need this guy a little bit later on. But for now, we'll do that, and that. We need a lot of iron for today's episode. Take you. And now, the final thing we're going to need in order to make ourselves some track, not tack, is these rail beds, which actually require this creosote oil, which is made in and I've completely forgot the name of it. It's made in the coke oven. The coal coke oven, this is how you make it. Now, the coal coke oven is a multi-block, and in order to make this guy, we're going to need actually a little bit of space, and we're going to need a little 3x3 space. So, what I'm thinking, actually, is putting it in the wall here and moving this rolling machine in just a second. But the way you make the coal coke oven, it's actually not all that hard to make. If we go ahead and type in coke, it is just some sand and some brick, which is obviously just clay smelted. The most common place you're going to find some clay is in nearby rivers, and there actually is, if you look at the mini-map, a nearby river right about there, just kind of north of us. Actually, no, just kind of east of us. So, what I did between episodes is I went ahead and got a bunch of clay from there. And this thing is a 3x3 multi-block, by the way, so that is the perfect size. And if we go ahead and take a gander in this little furnace on the far left, we'll see we have some bricks, and some more bricks. And if we go ahead and look down into the chest on this side, we will see that we have a button of sand as well. So we can go ahead and do something like this, and we should be good to go. So this is made by putting 3 blocks on the bottom, 3 blocks on the top, and then making sure that the middle is hollow. So the middle being that block right there. You want to put them down like so. And you'll know it's crafted. Oh, we're missing one? Really? Oh, it's just 1 piece of sand. It's 2 pieces of sand. Okay. Okay, there we go. That's our 2 pieces of sand. Let's go ahead and do that. Whew. Didn't want to I was dreading that we'd be out of brick then, but that's fine. Do that, and if it's worked right, you'll see this little, like, window pop up on the front, and if you right-click it, you'll see the coke oven interface. Now, the way that this works is it actually runs on coal, which is a bit of a shame, because I'm hoping... Can we run this on wood? We can't. Ooh. Oh, okay, so we may have to go ahead and get ourselves some more coal. That's not too big of a deal. We can go mining and get some of that stuff. But basically, the way this works is we put coal into this side, and it's going to really, really slowly turn that coal into coal coke. And for every piece of coal that it turns into coal coke, it's going to make 500 millibuckets of creosote oil. And we need 1,000 millibuckets is 1 bucket. We need 1,000 millibuckets of creosote oil in order to make 1 set, I believe, if we go ahead and look back at track. Again, not tack. If we go ahead and look at track, we need 1 bucket of creosote oil per wooden tie, and then each wooden tie, we need 4 wooden ties to make 1 rail bed, and each rail bed makes 32 tracks. I'm kind of hoping to get 64 tracks, so we're going to need 8 buckets of this stuff, which means I think we need about 16 coal to go through here, which is going to take a butt ton of time. So what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to go ahead, leave this thing running here. I'm going to leave this thing running here, because this has still got 23 minutes left to go. This episode actually run really long already, so I'm going to end this episode here. Next episode, we'll come back with, hopefully, enough creosote oil, with a fully functional cart, and we will set up a fully operational Steve's factory. Not Steve's factory, that's a different mod completely, but I think by the same person, I assume. We're going to set up a fully automatic Steve's cart tree farm, which hopefully will provide unlimited coal for this generator over here, and that's actually where all our coal is. And this is actually the culprit to why we don't have that much coal. But yeah, I'm gonna go and wait for this thing to finish, guys. Gonna go ahead and get some more coal. Gonna wait for this thing to finish, and I will see you guys next time.